Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a very, very Merry Christmas, and I'd like to be the first to wish you a Happy New Year. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 28th through January 3rd, and we'll do another quick reading. I'll get back into doing the longer readings here after the first of the year next week, so it's just with the busy holiday season, I did want to touch base and do a little reading, but we're just going to kind of do them a little quicker than usual. But this will be your weekly reading for, again, December 28th through January 3rd. During that time, we'll have a first quarter moon. That comes in on the 28th. So you might be feeling a little impulsive, impatient, a little bit active, hard to settle down or get anything accomplished. We then move into the waxing gibbous moon for the rest of the week. And that is a time that allows for deeper understanding and outlook, a good time to act on your intuition, but also a really good time for planning and preparation. So, as we're all sitting around thinking about those New Year's resolutions that we might want to make, it's a really good time with the moon energy to do that. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through this New Year's week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, Leo, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is confidence is your key to success. That's usually not a problem for Leo. Let's see what you guys have going on this week, though. And once again, as I'm shuffling, I would like to say again, I hope you have a very happy, merry New Year's and do something fun. Whatever's fun for you. Fun for some of us is laying low, which is what we tend to do more and more of. Just a nice, quiet evening in. Or if you're having friends and family over or going somewhere, just please be careful, but have a good time and Happy New Year. All right, let's get right into this reading for Leo, December 28th through January 3rd. Confidence is your key to success. Your overall present energy is Page of Cups. So going through this season with a little sense of humor and just kind of joy. This could be, it's fun hanging out with friends and family and just relaxing a little bit, working a little bit less. That's always nice. Your current situation right now is that you are thinking about the future, and I think we all are during a week like this with resolutions and things coming around the corner. Before the New Year's, you're kind of thinking, what will I resolve to do differently next year? So you're moving into the future with some new thoughts and ideas here with that Six of Swords. Not surprising. At the root of your situation this week is a little bit of anxiety here with the Nine of Swords. So maybe you are a little anxious, like whatever has gone on in your past year, you're thinking, I don't want a repeat of that. I want to make some changes. And now is the time to really think about those things and start to enact those things after the first of the year, right? A lot of people will fall off of doing resolutions like that. Just to remind you, it takes, I think they said 2 weeks of doing something every day to change a habit. So really just kind of force yourself to stick with it, whatever those new habits you're trying to develop, and let them become habits, right? In your recent past here, Knight of Pentacles. So you might have been kind of doing that push, right? Before the holiday season, the push action when it comes to material thing. And this, of course, for all of us could involve some shopping and, gathering gifts for folks, maybe working extra hard to gather some pentacles, maybe some sort of Christmas bonus came in for you or something of that nature, which is awesome. I love that. But that's kind of the energy that you're coming into this week with. Again, we're going to remain confident. That's your key to success. On your mind this week is King of Swords. So working on just being a little bit more logical maybe than usual, or just having some good control and knowledge about something, something in the in the knowledge realm. That's swords are air energy, so that's about our intellect, but also our way of speaking and thinking. So it is things about the intellectual things, but also logical and just speaking very clearly. So that might be something that you're doing this holiday season as you're interacting with some people. What is just ahead of you this week is the Star card, which we will find some a crystal clothing here to put on the Star card, since someone finds this card a little offensive. Anyway, so ahead of you, the Star card is about direction. It's really about what is written in the stars for you and what direction are you heading in the right direction with that. But it's about watching those signs, those synchronicities, those things that come up to us in the dark of night, like dreams. But things so that it gives you like a clarity so that you know how you need to move forward. And that's something that is ahead of you this week. You might just get some sort of sign or signal that tells you, hey, let's move over in this direction for a little bit. So keep an open mind and open eyes and ears for that message to come through for you this week. In your advice position this week is the Hermit card. So I've seen this, and also the Four of Swords, which is a card of rest and healing, rest and meditation. And the Hermit's kind of the same way. Again, however you spend New Year's, you might spend it quietly alone with a small group of friends, family, even by yourself. Some people would rather read a book than go to a party. I mean, the older I get, the more I tend to be like that too. I just want to do the quiet thing, because it's just relaxing, and it is a quiet night out. So, or a quiet night in. If that's you this week, if that's your advice, go for it. If you don't want to be surrounded by people, you can also just quietly do your own thing. Maybe the King of Swords would sit down and read a book and learn something that night. All right. What is beyond your control this week is the Ace of Wands. So, this is something that's a new passion, a big yes. This could just be you working on some passion project that you work on. That might be how you hermit. You might just say, I'd rather hang around here today and play my guitar. I'm going to move this camera down. There you go. So you can see that card there. That might be, you might hermit by being creative and doing something that you're very passionate about. And that's just fine. You spend your time how you want to spend your time. What is your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Yeah, maybe you're trying to avoid the big party this week. Maybe it's just not your thing. Again, I remember being younger, I feel like being out and about on New Year's was kind of a thing. I don't know. I've gone through like phases in and out, where that's fun. And then sometimes it's like, no, I just don't even want to be out. Sometimes it's cold too. So we've lived in places where it's cold here now, where we would want to go out that night. And it's like, it's just too cold. It's not even fun. It's like bone brittle cold. So if you want to stay in and just be warm, that's fine too. Also, so maybe it's your secret desire to avoid that party, or you're just trying to avoid it altogether. Whichever that is for you, it's fine. And if you want to go out, do it. If not, just stay in. And it's really it's up. You get to spend that time how you want to. Wow, I was just talking about this card. The outcome here, the Four of Swords, rest and meditation. I've seen it, I think, in every reading so far, which tells me that, yeah, and it's okay. You can split that time between go out on New Year's Eve, but make sure you're taking like at least the first and the second, those quiet first days of New Year's to just rest, relax, go in, kind of gather your own thoughts, think about the future a little bit. Where is it that you want to do? What anxieties are you trying to quell at this time? Confidence is your key to success, so you may confidently do whatever it is that you choose to do. What is hidden from you this week, Leo, is some judgment. So no judgment of you, no judgment by you. It's just something that you're going to enjoy. You're going to be very just accepting of whatever comes your way this week. And I think that's a great way to spend it. I also think wrapping up there with that Four of Swords, when you have the Hermit card in your advice position, is maybe it is just time for you just to get some extra rest and meditate. We're going to grab this card that came out from the Soul Oracle deck, Become a Clear Channel. And how's the best way to do that? Again, rest and meditation. That's when you can really hear what is it the universe is trying to tell you. What messages need to come through your intuitive thought. That with that star card, being very quiet, that's kind of how those messages come through. So not bad advice there. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Leo this week, this New Year's week. And the card that you get is rituals. And this card says, steady yourself with simple rituals. Do the dishes, fold the laundry, water the plants, make a cup of tea, let wisdom sneak up on you. And I love this card because it's so true. What is that saying? Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Sometimes just doing, those routines of life, and just, I'm all about being as simple as you can in your routines and in life. just keeping it really simple just clears your mind so that wisdom can come into you, right? So pay attention to that this week. Leo, I really appreciate your time here with me today. Again, I'm doing these readings a little quicker than usual. I will go back next week to the longer, more drawn out explanations and checking out these stories. I did want to tell you, look up angel number 44, see if that means anything to you this week with those two 44s popping up there. We've also got a 99, and I think that's it, but two numbers that are jumping out at me. Anyway, let me be the first again to say to you, Happy New Year. I hope you have a safe and happy and prosperous new year, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye bye.